Hey, this is Brian Young, and we are in the Shed podcast. Obviously, we're not in the shed. We are in Newaygo, Michigan. Two of my sons, and these are my other two sons, are Lincoln and Daniel, or Daniel and Lincoln. And then Ryan's behind the camera. Anyways, we're up here on vacation, and so we thought we'd do a podcast just kind of shooting out into the lake. What's the name of this lake?
Emerald.
Emerald? How do you say that in English?
Emerald.
Emerald Lake. He's got a very English problem, okay? He's my youngest son of my older kids. And then I have a new set of kids, anyways, that's a long story. I won't go there. Okay, so this is issue number 11 of our podcast. Nobody's watching number 10. Actually, nobody's listening to our podcast, but we just thought we'd keep on doing them because maybe sooner or later people would start watching. And today I'm going to have my Alec Bradley, which I love him, Perdesso. How do you pronounce that? Pernacino, whatever. It's an Alec Bradley. I love Alec Bradley.
Make sure to keep the wrapper out at least. That way I can tag it and whatnot.
So I want to light this up. Got to get the burn right. See, I didn't get it at the end here. And this lighter doesn't want to. This is episode 11. I want to get these. See, that's still not burning right.
So who are you then? Go ahead and introduce yourself. And
I'm Daniel, and I'm smoking a shortcut.
you'll want to get a little closer to the mic.
I'm Daniel, and I'm smoking a shortcut.
You might want to scoot up a little bit.
Yeah, scoot's good.
Just scoot up. There we go. And then Lincoln is just having
I'm having
coffee. Okay, so here's the deal. Don't forget that when you subscribe to In the Shed podcast, you'll get a free our WTL wallets. Is a wallet that I custom made, and you can put all sorts of stuff in it. You can put little notebooks. I have a notebook pad in it. I have a little pen. Matter of fact, I got these new little pens. I want to show you my new little pen. I got these little tiny pens that you can put inside your cigar or your wallets. They're little tiny micro pens, okay? And it comes with an extra tip, okay? And no, I'm not giving these away. You have to buy those. No, you have to buy one, okay?
Where do I buy them?
On Amazon, okay? So anyways, you get one of these. You got to subscribe and send us your email so we can send one to you free of charge. These are $15, okay? So you want to make sure that you subscribe to While the Cigars Lit, and we send you a little wall. I don't have my brother singing his little song.
Check this out. I got my wallet.
I got it on my belt. I hook it up.
Well, he's really talkative tonight.
Yeah, check this out. I got my.
Just make sure you shouldn't have showed the credit card, you moron. My kids sometimes. Okay, and I'm also paying tribute to Rush Limbaugh. I want to tell a quick story about Rush Limbaugh. I can't believe it's 30 years ago, but it has been. It was in 1988. That's when Rush started. I had Young's Newsstand in Bowling Green, Ohio, and I was listening, or I was just always an outspoken guy when I had my store anyways, and so conservatives would always come in and talk to me and everything. I had a guy come in my store one day and said, you gotta turn to WSPD in Toledo and listen to this guy named Rush Limbaugh. He talks just like you. I go, just like me? How can anybody be talking just like me? Anyway, so I started listening to Rush Limbaugh. Everybody has their own story on when was the first time they ever heard Rush Limbaugh, and they can tell exactly what. I remember somebody got fired at Rush Limbaugh because something about football. That's what I remember anyways. And I've been on his show 3 times. I got on his show back in 1990, and I had like 50 job interviews after being on his show, because I was talking about slot cards at the time, because that's what I was selling, slot cards. So I have his hat here because I do love Rush Limbaugh. He's the pioneer of us conservatives, and how that we are trying to take over the media, because he was talking about that today, about how the media, a guy called him about, when is it going to be we're finally going to take over? And he was talking about how the narrative is always set by the New York Times, and it's just a rag. I mean, it's just leftist propaganda left and right. And so I think it's us. It's Rush Limbaugh. It's the Daily Caller. It's Louder with Crowder. It's everybody that can get on the internet and spout their conservative views. Hopefully, we can change and make a change for good. So, that
All right.
being said,
Why we're doing
Guys,
this.
we're on a metal table. Don't pick stuff up real hard. Be real gentle with that, and don't be dragging. Cause
like this, you mean? Can you
it's
hear that?
Yeah, it's really
We
bad.
could put a cloth.
How about this?
Too late now.
Yeah, I
That-
can always get out of the scene.
What do you want? That's
come
the
back
cutter.
in.
Oh, well, this lighter is not working.
Well, you have to do it right. You have to be a manga. And we have our manga shirts, Trump, because we are Trumpers. My whole family is Trumpers. MAGA, it's called MAGA. Oh, I'm sorry, MAGA. Make America Great
You
Again.
looked at
Oh, that's right. Make America Great Again. Trump train.
Coming to
Trump train
America.
Coming to
A Magna.
MAGA.
MAGA. MAGA.
Trump train coming to America. That's what it is.
And so I
Is that good? Is that good?
Very good. This is a good cigar. This is
I was gonna talk about your cigars.
yeah, it's Nicaragua.
I need that lighter because I've got if you can see right here on my camera, I've got a black spot. That means it's not burning right. And so if I don't light that, that is going to boat really bad.
See,
So
I'm
hand
gonna
me
pass
that.
it. I'm gonna pass
Look at
it.
this. I'm passing you one.
Just give it to me. Oh my gosh. So anyway, we're having fun up here. I got up here on Sunday or Saturday, and we did some fun. I brought my camper, and I stayed at Little Switzerland Campground. It's a nice campground. They really need redo their bathrooms. I grade a campground by their bathrooms, how clean and how efficient their bathrooms are. Because if the showers don't work, the bathroom is pretty useless. And my camper, I have a 1999 Coleman Leprechaun, a 30-footer, and it's got a great shower. I mean, a great shower. I love taking showers in it because it's very forceful. The water is very strong, and just to let you know that, guys. So I know you don't really care about that, but I just thought I'd make that up. Don't forget to subscribe to Wallace Shed Podcast. Get your free wallet, and so we're just having fun here this weekend, so we would just kind of pontificate on the pontification.
Would this
Whatever that
be?
means.
Would
Sounds
this
like
be
you.
the? I mean, this is like the official Young reunion of 2018. I mean, that's
Yes,
kinda-
it's going to be, it's our official reunion, which, oh my gosh, now we're going to have to do this for 20 years.
It'd be fun. I mean, this is a fun place. Hang out.
It's a fun place. I just don't want to overstay my welcome.
Yeah.
Well, it can rotate. We can do other things. Not overstay that.
Right. Well, hopefully they'll come next time. and
Well,
we
there
can-
is a nice campground that is in Michigan. It's in Indiana called Yogi Bear State Park. Campground?
Up there too,
It's in Indiana. It's Yogi Bear,
Indiana.
or not Yogi Bear. It's Yogi Bear. It's It's called Jellystone Campground, and it's Indiana. And I thought, we
Haven't
could
we
do
been
that one year. And they got cottages where you guys could stay at the cottages, and I could bring my camper and get 3 cottages. But Mandy doesn't like camping, does she? Though
Oh, she likes camping.
she likes camping.
She just doesn't like to be.
What
she
does she-
doesn't like camping. She likes.
She doesn't like camping.
She likes camping though. So like gutting a cottage, having a
I see.
yeah. She doesn't like
He likes the
camp.
idea.
She doesn't like backpack camping.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to do Mount Rushmore one year too. I
Oh,
think
that'd
that'd
be
be really
blast, yeah.
awesome.
Which did you hear what they're adding to Mount Rushmore on the left side? There's an opening.
Trump.
They're
Trump?
adding
That'd be
Trump.
cool.
Trump,
to
they're
it.
going to add Trump to Mount Rushmore. I'm sure the left
That's a-
would. I'm sure the left would really go crazy on that.
That's actually breaking news. We're the ones that are breaking
Breaking
that. Yeah,
We're breaking that.
We broke the
Breaking.
story,
Breaking news, not fake news.
so it's not coming from.
Okay, for
CNN.
this is a guy that doesn't like talking on a camera,
No, I'm just.
and he doesn't talk at all
He's
unless
not talking
he
at all.
wants to
Well, I just like to absorb the
What?
knowledge.
Yeah.
And there's
absorb the
something
knowledge.
good to say, chime in. But I'm surrounded by a bunch of great people.
Great
And-
people, huh?
Well, they're okay.
They're okay.
And
Oh, brother,
just you should
That cigar's
listen to
almost
what people have to say.
you're burning yours awful fast. Just so you
This
know.
one's
burning hot.
it's not the greatest one of the pack. The one last night was much better. This one's burning real crooked.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
fine.
I can tell a noticeable difference from because I've been smoking what are those called again? The 20 pack. Those are the 20
Yeah,
pack.
they're just a quick cigar. They're like $4 a piece. They're just a nice, they're pre-cut. They're just they're better than a, what do you call it, Switzer Sweet. I mean, these are
Yeah.
nice cigars. They're just, Switzer Sweets are just, made in a factory. These are still hand rolled and all that.
You can
But they're a quick cigar.
you can notice a difference though. I mean, the one that I'm smoking now compared to that one, which I don't smoke a lot, so I think you can notice.
Yes,
the effects
we
of-
can't notice because we can't see you on the camera.
You can notice the effects of nicotine more acutely when you don't smoke.
Correct.
Because I don't have a tolerance for it.
Correct.
From that cigar to this one.
But you
then
have
I noticed-
caffeine because you drink a lot of coffee.
Yes. So caffeine.
It's the same, really.
Well, no, they're completely different.
No, actually the same.
No,
The
they.
tolerances don't affect.
Yeah, they don't.
You don't think so?
Like if you smoke a lot and then you drink a coffee, you're not gonna be like, oh, that coffee didn't even hit me because I smoke all the time.
Really?
Of course not. That's absurd.
So for those coffee levels, I like putting honey in my coffee. I got that out of a book series I used to read. I'm reading right now, actually.
Yeah, it's sugar. I mean, honey is basically just sugar.
That's really good.
Sweeten
It's better
it,
than
sweeten it
sugar.
up.
It's better. It's good sweetener.
I just go black on my coffee, just like good old Uncle Tim.
I'm slowly getting into black.
Where'd the lighter go again?
What is wrong with that cigar? Is it not lighting right?
Oh, there it
Ryan
is.
was getting, or Q over there was getting mad that we kept setting it on the
Q?
Yeah, rude
the
in
table.
his hidden. Who is this guy behind the camera?
Yeah. This is a nice place though. We got guys going around in the back on golf carts. We've got people just going out on boats. Beautiful, not too deep, I don't think.
What do you mean not too deep? What are you talking about?
The lake, I mean, you can walk in some areas. They got a volleyball court set up in the middle of the lake. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
No,
right.
That's
No,
at
that's
the-
the other.
But
Yeah.
they're all connected. It's just
Yeah.
like 5 lakes. All
So it's
connected together.
Civilin, Emerald, Pickerel, and then it's connected to another one. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Pickerel is the one with the
Pickerel
volleyball.
is like
Wonder why they
this
wouldn't
is the best lake
create
to
bigger
be on.
openings between the two lakes.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
what?
private lake. This is a private lake. The rest are open lakes.
What do you mean open?
Like anyone can go in that lake. So they close it off to like bigger boats.
Oh,
Like,
I
So
see.
these two I'm pretty sure are both private. That one's a little bit more open.
There's no public access.
Yeah.
Oh, so only the people that live here
Yeah.
use it.
Yep.
Makes sense. But you can go from this lake to that lake.
Yeah.
With both of those boats, right?
Mhm.
The pontoon
Yeah.
and
And then the other lakes you gotta get through with a kayak.
or a jet ski.
But
or
this is
something.
private,
Yep.
so that's all there is to it on that.
And Michigan, the great state of Michigan, which went for Trump
Yes.
and is going to go for Trump
Again, totally.
And the rallies here are, I hear.
Amazing.
Have you
Yeah.
been?
Yeah,
We
I have.
actually have for the first time somebody on the podcast.
No,
Mac.
Mac
Oh, that's right.
was,
Sorry.
like,
So
good
let's hear
for-
your opinion, though.
I loved it. It was like he went to the Deltaplex,
Can you hear him?
and the Deltaplex was packed, full of people everywhere. People with stadium. It was packed full, and it's funny because I went to the Deltaplex this year to like Todd White somewhere, and it wasn't full at all. And I'm like, dude,
For what? Who did you go with?
Todd White.
Who's
Just-
Todd?
Just some evangelist
Okay.
speaker. But
So that wasn't packed, but the Trump one
Yeah.
was, and you got to see kind of the comparison.
oh yeah.
Well, he's
and I got to see more of the stadium and how much room there was. And
Wait, so
it-
did they block it
quite-
off so it looked more packed with Trump?
No, they
Okay.
didn't. No.
See,
That's
that's the thing. Even these rallies he's having around the country are packing out. People don't. They can't get. They
Can't get in.
They can't get in.
He was talking and people were still coming in.
They have to
That's how
shut it
bad.
off. It's at a point now where you have to get there early.
Right, and people aren't upset too. That's the thing about conservatives; they don't get frustrated or upset. They then because they're with like people, so they sit and
Yeah.
talk because they can be excited about another person
Something
that
good.
that they know is in their like mind. That's what's really cool.
And you can get along. You can actually have people that are conservative at the rally that disagree, but agree on other topics, and they accept everybody.
That goes back to this walkaway. I told you about this guy, this homosexual walkaway video I watched a couple nights ago.
Could we refer to them as the Russian bots, though?
No, they're not Russian bots. They're real humans.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I've noticed
this guy,
some
here's a
Russian
guy. He's gay. I'll say gay, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, he basically got on Facebook saying that he was going to be walking away or becoming more conservative, and his leftist group just constantly ridiculed him and mocked him and told him he was a traitor. But so then he wanted to try to get a view of the right, of the Trump people, of who are these people? Who are these Trump? Are these racist? And so he put in a comment on Facebook basically saying, hey, I want to know who you're. Here's who I am. Am I welcome? He got 1,000 responses, 1,000.
All good.
Not negative on a single one. The only one he said that was any close to being negative was a guy saying, I might not necessarily agree with your view on homosexuality, but you're welcome with your thoughts and with your ideas. See, and that's what the left, they're the ones that say they're the tolerant ones.
Only if you agree with them.
Only if you agree with them, right. I mean, it's the same thing with me. I mean, I'm tolerant as long as you believe what I say, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you guys had a conversation
Right?
last night, right?
Yes.
Disagreeing on stuff.
I don't know if we disagreed. I think it was.
We didn't. We just had
It was more,
a conversation, a
see,
great
it was
conversation.
no disagreement. More like
Because sometimes people go into conversations as arguments and they're trying to convince the other person when we were literally just trying to explore the idea, which is what one of my favorite people, Jordan Peterson, does. He's constantly exploring ideas and discussing them while the left is trying to say, no, this is what it is. You're racist, homophobe, bigot. As soon as you say bigot,
Conversation's over.
yeah, which just look up the definition of bigot.
That's why these, more and more African Americans are seeing which I think the Republicans have done a very disservice over the last 40, 50 years, not explaining to the populace, who the Democrats really were. Who started slavery? Okay, who ended slavery? Okay, who's the one that started the KKK? It wasn't Republicans. They're not the ones that ran around in the white hoods and everything. It was Republicans that were trying to stop it all. Okay.
Well, yeah, but about the Great Switch or whatever BS the left tries to propagate as a reason why, even though the left started the KKK and fought against freedom. They say that all the congressmen that switched over to the Republican side when it was really just like 3 of them. You know about the switch? You didn't watch Dinesh D'Souza's?
No, I didn't watch that yet. I probably should watch that.
Yeah, that one's really good.
But still, even that, okay, fine. But you have to look at throughout, especially the 50s and 60s, it was Democrat governors. Okay, they're the ones that were stopping segregation and wanting to have or wanting segregation. Now, what's that one in the South? That one governor, can't even think of his now, but he was a Democrat. You didn't want to integrate the Georgia. I think it was Georgia, the university. And I think now they're finally waking up. And it's if one African American leaves the Democratic Party, it's one more victory for the Republicans.
Well, the left owns so much of the black vote that everyone is
vital
for so much for the right.
If they lose the black vote, it's over with.
Oh,
it's over.
That's why they're trying to ship in illegal immigrants. And thank goodness for Trump. I don't know if you noticed. The DOJ just released from now on, for clarification purposes, they're not going to use undocumented as a term anymore. It's illegal immigrant because they're here illegally. So just for clarification, they're finally doing that.
And don't forget, I'm Brian Young. This is While the Cigar is Lit in the Shed podcast. We're not in the shed, obviously. We are in Nuevo.
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 Yeah.
Wonder where that came
It's
from.
actually.
Is
There's
it
a book
Indian?
in there. It's an Indian.
We don't
and
need it
you
right
wanna
now,
hear
but
the story?
I'll yeah, okay,
You could
Lincoln.
get Roger on,
And we're-
and he'll tell
okay,
you the story.
yeah,
He
okay.
likes it a
But-
lot.
But we are.
Live. We're not live. We're sitting at the house, and we're you can
Hanging
see
out, chillaxing.
the camera is panning out into the. Well, it's not panning, but it's shooting out into the lake.
And we are discussing this.
Because two of my sons moved to Michigan. Okay, my son Daniel moved up here to build houses or to help
A paint.
Paint.
I'm a
paint.
painter.
He's a painter. He is. I will admit he is a great painter. Okay, he can paint a bedroom faster than you could build it. Actually,
I try not to pride myself on speed, but more quality.
it's quality. But he won't drop any paint anywhere, which is quite amazing because I drop it everywhere. Matter of fact, it was funny. I did all my kitchen, and so he came to my kitchen because I did some touch-ups and everything, and he came into the kitchen and said, "Who did this? Who did this? It's all wrong. It's all wrong." I said, because he was blaming the construction workers, and I said, "No, I did that." He said, he told me, "Stop! Don't do any more touch-upping. Okay, let me do all this." Okay, so anyways, and then Lincoln moved up here. Actually, he rode his bike up here back in 2014 because he wanted to meet a friend. And I said, "Friend, huh? Well, that's interesting." Well, it became his wife.
And how long was that drive?
How long from Ann Arbor to Grand Rapids?
They said it was a 13-hour ride. I made it a 2-day trip. I ended up sleeping in a laundromat place.
Unbelievable. He rode his bicycle from Ann Arbor, Michigan to Grand Rapids.
Yeah, it's fun.
His
All
mother
this
was on
guy
the cell
followed
phone
me.
the whole time.
All for love.
All for love.
I mean,
And he didn't want to admit that. He said, "Oh, no, it's not. What are you crazy?"
Not.
Dad?"
We're just friends.
So anyway, right, just friends. Now they're married and they had their first
now
son.
they get to come up to
And
this
it's,
awesome
and guess what he
lake
named his son? Ulysses.
house. Ulysses.
Ulysses.
Off of the Odyssey.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
come on,
And
What-
then
what is Loxley from?
and then Loxley is
Robin Hood of Loxley.
Robin Hood of Loxley. Only Lincoln
Very
could name a
good.
kid like that.
It was Hope's idea, and
Uh,
I agreed.
It's
because
a
I liked
beautiful name,
it.
though.
It is a beautiful.
It is beautiful, I guess.
Ulysses, Loxley.
Anyway, so they moved up to
Oh,
Michigan, and
Lox
so
is
that's
good.
why we're up here this week. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. You get a free wallet.
I like
These are
nicknames.
custom made in
You want to show your
okay, now I'm
wallet?
talking, guys.
I'm sorry. I already showed both.
This is the wallet. They're
Attached to
custom
my
made
belt.
in Florida. Okay, I found a guy that I was at a trade show in Las Vegas, and I found a guy that was making these, and he made these. He custom
Easy
makes them.
access.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had sound. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Dang, dude.
And so we're here. This is episode 11 of In the Shed podcast. We can't take any mess because we're not live, so we can't ask questions. You just have to be bored with the show.
Oh, I kind of think that brought up because you came up here. Are you allowed to discuss any clients that you've painted for? Because you painted for somebody who is pretty well known, and they were nice people.
Most of the people we work for are quite nice.
Yeah. No, it's a relatively famous person. They're in the news even, from Michigan, in the Trump's camp, in the Trump part.
Who is that?
Well,
DeVos?
That you weren't part of that job.
no.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
He probably said that. They probably worked on it. He
oh,
just probably
sorry.
wasn't there.
Well,
Oh,
one,
my God.
One thing that's
Oh, my gosh.
He does have high end. He works
Will.
high end.
Well, my goodness, that's Ronald Reagan.
Oh no.
What?
How about you do Professor Clouseau?
Gosh.
Welcome to the. I'm in the elevator all day, and so when some people come in, I'm like, "Welcome to the elevator. What floor do you want?"
Oh, my gosh.
do they love it?
Dude, they look at me like, "What?"
No, it's
the crap
good
is he-"
afternoon.
Good
My
afternoon.
My name is Inspector Clouseau of the Cité.
Yes, but I'm undercover. I like to not. Give
That
my
was the
name
funny
away.
part of that movie. I think it's Revenge of the Pink Panther or Return of the
I
Pink
got
Panther.
hope to watch all four.
Are you going to interrupt me to
Yes.
the whole thing?
Yeah.
And so Inspector Clouseau, he comes into this. He comes into this hotel, okay, a German hotel, and the guy's behind the counter, and he old man with a pipe, and there's a dog in there, and Clouseau, I'd like to have a room, and he goes, what? A room? Yeah, a room. I'd like a room. And so he's checking out the door and says, "Does your dog bite?" "No, my dog does not bite." And so he bends over to pick the dog, and the dog bites him. And he goes, I thought you said your dog does not bite. He says, that's not my dog. Get it? Yeah, brother.
I think that's a little before my
Oh
time.
man.
It's still a good movie.
They're funny.
They're great movies.
Peter Sellers Clouseau movies were fun. Even though he was the third of the Clouseaus, because Alan Arkin played the Clouseau in the second movie. Peter Sellers played the first movie. Then Alan Arkin played in the second movie.
No. Not Clouseau. They changed the bad guy. The bad guy changed in the first to the second.
What is?
They changed the
What
actor
is-
of the bad guy.
What?
Is he a spy? Is
No.
he, what is
Inspector
he?
Clouseau is a bumbling French inspector.
Oh, okay. That
And
explains-
Peter Sellers played the first one in Shot in the Dark, and that was with Peter Sellers, David Niven, and Robert Wagner, and that was the first one.
Okay.
Then it's kind of like with
Pink Pencil Strikes Again.
right.
And then,
Those were all through the 70s. I remember in high school, Mark or
hello,
my friend
little
Greg.
yellow friend. that movie would be so racist nowadays.
No, you couldn't do it nowadays.
You couldn't, because he blatantly called Kato yellow, and there's one part where he gets white powder over him, and he's like, at least you aren't yellow
So
anymore.
have you heard that now? I think that they are having so much problems with Walking Dead now. I think they're finally changing. I'm sorry, changing well, I was talking to you though too.
Okay.
See, my son is right there, so if I'm not looking at you at the camera here, I'm looking at him. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say it again. If you want a good zombie show,
I know, you said Z Nation.
Z Nation. I don't know what. Oh my gosh,
But
I'm
what-
acting
what's-
like you.
What streaming service is it on?
It's on Netflix right now. Sci-Fi is the one
Or,
that created it.
or you can get Terrarium and get it all free.
Okay.
You know,
Or
Terrarium is free.
yeah.
Everything's free.
What is true?
But it's got
Terrarium
more-
is an app you can add upload onto your Amazon Prime, and Terrarium you can get all your free movies, everything.
so it's
free.
illegal.
Well, no, it's not legal. According to my son, see, about 10 years ago, my sons told me that with BitTerrarium you could get anything and watch anything, and I always told him, hey, that's not fair. You can't do that. And he said, no, it's free. It's free. It's free. I said, well, okay, finally, I might as well do it. Okay, it's free.
No,
and
we
there's
all-
commercials in it, too.
We always acknowledged that it was illegal, but we were young and dumb, and we did it anyway.
Young and dumb.
Yeah,
Young
we
and
don't.
dumb.
We don't
Yeah.
do it anymore.
You don't do it anymore?
Now we all
And
have
now
jobs.
Yeah.
We all make a living.
But
and
you
we
quit
wanna-
Netflix, I hear.
Yes.
You have to.
You have to
got
now?
Well,
See, I
haven't
quit, but then
deleted mine yet,
I
but
got it
will.
back because I wanted to watch this show called
Altered carbon.
World's
Well,
End,
just
which
know
was
you
terrible.
You are taking money
And
out of
I'm-
your wallet and handing it to a bunch
and
of
I'm-
pedophiles.
And I'm going
Bunch
to
of them.
cancel it again when I get
Oh,
back.
you know, it's funny. I saw an article that said, by Disney firing James Gunn, they've ruined Hollywood because Hollywood's full of pedophiles, and they just blatantly were like, dude,
He's the only good one.
yeah.
But I don't know why. That's what I told. I had a little.
Funny.
I don't know why
So
people
stupid.
are all upset about that. I mean, that's just the culture of Hollywood.
That's what Hollywood is.
Disney knew that.
Yeah, they knew.
They
Well,
knew
it's-
from the
they
very
do.
beginning. They didn't have a. You're telling me they didn't do a background check of who James Gunn was?
They probably don't do background.
Here's where the whole debate is, though. We know the right is going and finding these people because we're making them follow their own rules.
Yeah, that's good.
So how far are we going to take it, though? I mean, because we all know. I mean, I know one person in particular that I grew up with. He was not a pedophile or anything, but he used to make terrible jokes. So where do we draw the line? Was that a terrible joke, or is he actually a pedophile? And it goes back to what that one
Meme was that.
you know, because you make racist jokes, that means
It
you're a
makes you
racist.
racist.
If you make pedophile jokes, it means you're a pedophile. How long and how far out are we actually going to take it?
Well, but see, I told Lincoln or Daniel about our favorite movie, which is Kelly's Heroes. In Kelly's Heroes, okay, when they're at the farmhouse, Kelly what's his name, Teddy Savalas comes up to him and something about boys. Do you want me to get you a bunch of little boys? Okay, you know, why was that in the movie? What was that part for? Why was that comment there?
Yeah.
Well, just what all the clues are pointing to is a lot of these people making these jokes about racism and stuff. Most of those people, you look and you find out they're not actually racist. But with the pedophiles, it seems to be, with some of them, not quite the true story.
I think that there is a little bit of leeway because you have to. I mean, look at the Netflix person. He was literally saying the N-word to be very specific and explain that that's wrong. There needs to become a true racist. Yeah, that's a bad thing. But if you're using the N-word,
Nigger, for example, the word nigger.
come on, that's gonna get.
Well,
us,
no. It's what is that going to get us banned? Then?
I mean, it could. It could get flagged by YouTube because that's how bad it is. I'm telling you. I got what time stamp do I
And
have? I can try to bleep that out.
This is a family show, if I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that a bad word though?
Right. If it's used derogatory, then yes, it's terrible. But I'm just saying, if it's just used, just like you were saying earlier, oh, the guy's gay or home. I'm not trying to be offensive. I just am saying that's what he is. That's
Those
the
words
point.
aren't necessarily offensive.
They're only offensive if you actually are using them to demean and that's where the left is losing it.
Well, then it goes with
What's
the
wrong?
word
They're
that-
becoming the thought police.
It goes with the N-word. Is like they're like, well, that word was always offensive.
See, we have to use the N word, and that's wrong. We should be able to use nigger as a word because that's what it is.
Right.
It is. There's no other different kind other than honky. Okay, who's a honky? Are we honkies?
White people.
Okay, what's a spick?
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm gonna have to bleep
No,
out
what
this
I'm
whole
saying is-
area. I get it.
Okay, but that's
But
We get it,
YouTube
we
has
get it.
rules, and we have
get
to
it.
follow
We gotta
them.
follow these rules.
Okay, then why does the videos I listen to this one guy, watch this one guy called 666 or something. He's saying the F word every other time.
Because the F-word,
He
they
doesn't
don't
care. He's not making a family show. We are making
No,
one that's
but
not.
that these should not be bad words, is in a sense, is what I'm getting.
Yeah,
at.
but
We
you don't want
agree.
your kids saying those words.
No, I
right?
don't.
Okay,
Which
so
we shouldn't say them around kids.
What
who
I'm saying is,
keep
okay,
these words.
But
Yeah, do
but
you-
they're going to hear it. Mark talks to me all the time. Says, "Dad, there's the
Yeah,
language
all
on
high
the
school
school
is
bus is
terrible.
ridiculous."
yes, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I understand that. Going back to a show that I like, but you don't like because they swear in it. Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. So, but
okay,
that's
so
not a kid. You told me to let Mark watch it. I can't. It's got too much profanity in it.
Well, you just said, oh, he sees it enough on the bus. So now you're literally.
All I'm saying is, though, he is saying it's on the bus, okay, because the culture said, "Hey, it's okay." I mean, that's the culture
And
that
we're
we've
there
created.
to say we are bad.
Right. That's why I'm saying culture
Yeah.
is important.
Okay. All right, this is While the
The culture.
Cigars Lit podcast, and I'm Brian Young, and I know everything. This is my son Daniel. He doesn't know half as much as I do, and Lincoln doesn't know half as much as Ryan or Daniel. And Ryan doesn't know half as much as Lincoln.
Dang, you
But they all are Republicans, which I should
I
be
mean,
thankful.
I would like
Uh,
to not.
say
Oh, you're not a
Republican.
Republican?
I think there's a lot of scum in the Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of deep state.
All right, I would
never
agree with that.
classify as a
The
Republican.
rhinos. I mean,
All right, I would
Yeah.
agree with that. Now you're exactly you are exactly right. I have voted. I sucked up
They
and
all
voted
paid
for
off.
McCain, thinking that he was. You know what? That was the biggest mistake. I should have
Paid
voted
off.
just Obama or just not even voted.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
voted.
not
That's
And
even-
McCain or Romney, same thing. I should just not have
not
voted,
voted.
because he wasn't a conservative Republican.
Nope.
He's
They-
not even close. They would have just
They're the same monster, just with a
yeah,
different flag.
just with a different flag.
He would have gone a little more. Like he would have just followed Bush's.
Yeah,
Yeah. But the
he wouldn't have stuck. I mean, look, he didn't stick up for his wealth,
He didn't
for anything.
He didn't stand for anything either.
He didn't
That's-
stand for anything. None of them do.
And for the Republicans, we really are. I mean, look at the GOP. What does it stand for? There's
Grand old party.
That's something that's powerful. Grand old party. But we're just a bunch of wimps.
Yeah.
And now we finally have
And
somebody
you
that
couldn't
we can,
say the P word, right? You couldn't say that.
because I censor myself when it's appropriate.
But what is the P word?
It
what's the-
means wimp. And that's
That's the problem. See, the
left.
the left spoke people have told us what we can and can't say, but they can say whatever they want. See, the African American, they can rap and use the that word. I'm not even going to say the word. I'm not even going
Oh.
to say the letter because it's ridiculous. If you're saying I can't say the word, then I'm not even acknowledge the word then.
And if anything, that's mean that somebody would say that word because then you're saying it in your head. So they're making you say it.
Yes, it is.
I forget where that.
Yeah, it's
that
like
came
there's a
from.
comedian or something that says that.
That's pretty good.
It's funny.
But we're in Newaygo, Michigan. Right, Newaygo? I said that right?
Yeah. How's your cigar?
I
Is
like
it working now?
I finally
It
got it
started
right.
off
Daniel's
good.
almost gone.
Daniel's almost gone.
This is
little
good.
shorty.
My coffee's gone.
This is good. It's really hitting.
You can have a bite of mine if you want.
A bite of yours? How do you do a bite?
You know, you just puff it.
I don't want a bite of yours.
Anyways, we're doing a podcast here. This is number 11. Sorry, Tim's not here. I tried to get him up here, but he had all these excuses why he couldn't come.
Tim
excuse
gave
me.
up on.
I think he
Yeah.
did.
We got a lot of Twitter action though, and a lot of big things have been happening. Even while I think I figured it out.
We have to break that seal it, and I don't know how to do that,
Break the
frankly.
ceiling.
Yeah, for what?
You know, become viral.
Oh,
It'll
Think Phil
happen.
will be there? No.
We got to talk
You
about
don't think I'm
something
that
that
class?
people are
This
This
interested
is the
in.
problem.
Okay,
Don't-
Lincoln or
and Danny
Daniel
knows
has-
everything, and he's about to talk.
I know. All
so
right, I'm gonna
let's
listen.
he's gonna.
I can't get a word in. I've been very patient.
Yeah, I can't wait to
I
find
can't
out
wait
what.
to listen to.
They're not. In the Shed podcast is not what you guys want because they're not consistent.
Oh, okay.
They need to be consistent. And when people make up excuses why they can't do it, they're just letting you guys down. And I'm here to get them to change that. We will be here for you people.
Make In the Shed podcast great once again. If it was ever great.
But they were pretty regular at the beginning.
Yeah,
man.
beginning.
Yeah.
Now, I hope you guys are enjoying the shorts. We're trying to push more shorts.
I'm
Yeah, those are
taking
coming
a
out good.
while from-
I'm trying to do videos of when I'm driving or flying or
More trending.
more trending stuff, but I don't know how to. I'm not necessarily a techie on trending stuff. Trending to one person is not what's trending to me.
It's
You all done there, partner?
I
All
smoked
done
it
there.
like a
Going to
joint.
get to Mr. Ludwig here. Tudwall, Mr. Tudwall here. Going to take you.
I think that I really want to make it to a rally, and it's gonna. Be
I do want to
That
go to
would be
rally
fun.
too.
He's
We
high
need
energy
to
all
make
the
an
time.
effort that we all go to the rally together.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
I tried to go to one, but I by the time I'd have gotten there, it'd have been closed to enter. And there's MAGA hats going online now, signed by Trump for $1,000. If that doesn't mean something,
Yeah.
then you're crazy. That means that people are not wanting to sell them. That means they're getting the signature, and they want to keep it because they know it means something to them.
See, what I'm curious is that how is he going to campaign in November or in October? That's the cue.
That's so far out though. Like think
Kind-
about the news cycle right now.
Kanye.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So here's why I think Cohen released those tapes, because it was authorized by Trump. Trump allowed Cohen to release those tapes and the taping because he's control. You can always control your own fall. That's why
Yeah.
parachuters, they jump out of the plane because they know how to control the fall. Trump, he's jumping out of the plane constantly because he's a master parachutist. He knows exactly what he's doing. So we're the Supreme Court justice. He knows that the left wants to smear what's the guy's name?
Yeah, Brett Kavanaugh.
He knows the left wants to smear him. So he's saying, no, don't worry. Once again, I will take the smearing so that we can get you pushed through. So, because try to look up articles about them smearing him. They're out there, but the left can't push it because they're too busy.
Busy with the collusion. Yeah, that's why it's
That is
the puppet
interesting.
master once again. Like, Trump can't get bought out, but he buys other people out. That's something that always flows out of my mind when he does something.
The flows in your mind?
Yeah.
Flows
That'd
in
be
and out.
interesting.
Like a spigot.
I thought that was
Like
real.
a spigot?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was really good, though. I thought that was very interesting because I was thinking about it last night over the fireplace. I just kept thinking, why are these tapes? What is going on? Why did this come out? And why is this? And Cohen, why has he been talking to these people? He's obviously friends with Hannity. Hannity's friends with him. Hannity's friends with Trump. What is going on? Why would this guy backstab, or what I thought backstab him? And then I remembered that the Supreme Court justice, they're trying to push that through. And Trump knows that. I love this.
An idiot, dude.
This was a meme I read. It said, Trump, the only way that Trump could lose a Trump supporter is if he shot him, and he would only lose one.
I think that brings up a good question. What would
Wow.
Trump have to do to lose
Yeah.
part of his base?
Well, stop following the,
What?
stop completing his promises. Stop following through,
Yeah.
which he's doing. So I can't complain.
Right.
If he gets bought out too. You know?
Well,
But he's
Like-
not, though. I mean,
Exactly. It's
I liked what-
impossible for him to do.
I liked what Rush was talking about today. That Trump, I mean, the guy he's 70 years old. He's done everything he's wanted to do.
Yeah.
What
he doesn't care.
He doesn't
doesn't
care.
care.
I mean, think about it. He's 70. He's gonna be 78 when he's done.
He wants to keep America as a.
But you got to watch his videos from
yeah, they're great.
1970, 1980, 1990. This is exactly who he said he was going to be. He's not doing anything different from those videos, those interviews, of all those. And the media loved him back then.
Right.
I mean, they worshipped him. Dan Rather had it, and Trump was walking around his thing, and and Trump goes, he shows his golf course down in Florida, and he shows him this waterfall. He goes, I spent $1 million on this waterfall, and yeah, it was just great, I just love. And then he shows, well, how much was that car? It was $1 million, just like what. I mean, Dan Rather sucking it up, but now he's the worst thing on earth.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yep. He's stopping their.
Because he was news for them. See.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
Well, I think it's also Trump has been quite good for the media too, though, lately.
Not for
What?
CNN. CNN's ratings are going down. Like I don't know what.
Everybody else is going up.
What? Well, that's why I don't understand the reports. I haven't done my homework. I was hoping maybe one of you guys did or something, but I mean, CNN was getting beat out by.
They all are, and they still are. They only have 100. They only have like 900,000. See, this is what people don't understand is that in the early days of television, this is where you have to look at the perspective. In the early days of television, okay, if you had a 40 or a 50 point broadcast, okay, it was a ratings, a 40 ratings. That means that 40 million Americans watched your episode, okay? Shows were canceled, okay, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s with 12 or 13 shares, okay? Shows nowadays, okay, are number one with 12 or 14 shares.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Because everybody's going to all these other medians, and I think a lot of middle America just doesn't watch network television anymore.
Yeah, but there's more people.
There is more people, correct, okay? But I don't think they're doing the shows that people really want to watch.
People are tired of it.
There's not a single network television show I'll watch. Not a single one. None. Absolutely none.
And
Do you
this
watch
is-
network television?
And this is why they
No.
reboot series all the time, because they're like, oh, maybe if we reboot this series, people
Yeah.
will watch it again.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go to a shift where, my parents, well, not exactly my parents, but a lot of my friends' parents, they were more outdoorsy people, and not exactly we're around the TV a lot. And now my generation, we're playing video games all day and everything, and I think the younger generation's gonna look at their parents playing video games all day and be like, "Why aren't we outside?"
Yeah.
You think there's actually going to be a switch back to outside?
They're talking about that.
Well, really?
Even
I
Rush
think it's
made a
pretty
comment
funny.
about that. And I watched another video about that.
Well,
Well, right now, Hope and I, we want to get rid of our TV. We're slowly going back, but and grow our kid up in the wild almost. Like have him.
Wait,
around
what was that word?
hammocks,
The wild?
Wild.
Oh, in the wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
To
Okay.
know outside, to know the fun of
Right.
nature, the playing. Like, your kids don't know how to play.
They don't
And
know
it's
how to
crazy.
play.
I knew how to play when I
Did
was
you know
young.
how to play?
Yeah, I used to play all the time. Outside,
Yeah, he did. He
imagination,
played a lot.
SpongeBob. Imagination.
Matter of fact, he had his
Loved it.
Woody attached to him the whole time, his
and
whole life.
like,
Now, there's half the thing out there to understand.
Crazy.
So now I just made a sentence there that
Stupid.
you probably had no idea what I was just said, but that's Lincolnese. Lincoln has his own vocabulary.
I slur my R's.
No, it's slur.
Oh
Say
my
slur
God,
your
I
R's.
give up.
See that? He just said it. He slurs he slurs his R's.
And then sometimes I'm just blah, 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 blah. That could happen.
Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. This is episode 11 of In the Shed podcast. We're not in the shed. We're out here in Newaygo, Michigan. And don't forget
Where
to.
are we?
So this,
Are we out?
Oh, I'm sorry.
if
Go
I'm
ahead.
not correct, this isn't live.
No, it's
so-
not live.
But we are doing it while the cigar's lit.
And the cigar is lit.
My cigar is lit. Yours is done already. I'm sorry. I didn't have a big. Well, you
Should
could
I
have had a
have
big
another
one. No, because by
No.
the time we're done.
I'm about to. I can feel this one.
What time are we on? About 30 minutes?
We're about 50, right?
45.
We
Doing
talked
good.
45 minutes
Yeah.
already?
Yep, we're doing a good job. We're doing good. One thing I wanted to hit though is
What did you want to hit right now?
Well, we were talking about it before we got on a rant.
A rant on what?
Well,
Why do you think I always have rants?
no, it went off topic. We were on a good topic.
What
about
topic were we on?
Going outside,
Going outside.
and then also
yeah,
going
sure.
back to trades, bringing back up to what you
Good.
do. You're a painter. You can see like what you were talking about in your kitchen, that because you become such an expert at your trade, other people, because you have pride in it, can see that in your work and they can be impressed by it because of your appreciation. That's getting lost because right out of school, everybody's going straight to this useless college. But look at how good Katie was. She went to Penna, which was when I
Paid
went to
for her entire education. Boom, she's zero debt.
but it was looked
Yeah,
down
that's
upon when I went to school. I wish that I would have gone to Penna and done a trade and learned an actual skill as opposed to reading a book and going over theories that don't teach me diddly squat. Because that's where I think the real reward is, actually accomplishing something and being able to produce some sort of work.
I mean, you stop and think about it. How many? I'd like to know the statistic, and too bad you couldn't look this up while I'm talking. But the statistics: how many high school graduates graduate each year in America? Okay, I would admit, I would have guessed that it's 1 million to 2 million graduate a year in the U.S. So that would be 1 million to 2 million. Did you see?
3.6 million students are expected to graduate high school in 17-18.
Oh my gosh! So that's 3 million new people into the workforce. Okay, and literally 80% of those should be going into the service sector, or I'm sorry, the trade sector,
Yeah.
Entry,
the trade
entry
sector.
level.
I mean, right now they're talking. You can see all over the country that they're having a problem with CDL drivers, truck drivers. They can make up to 100,000 a year
Yeah.
if you're good. Now you got to be a good driver,
Right.
but you know it.
What's the fear about if Google comes up with their automated truck driving car though?
That's not going to work. None of this automated driving is going to work. I'm sorry.
And why
guys.
not?
Because you can't take the human element. Just like that
Why?
one thing where the Uber driver or the computer or humanless car didn't distinguish between an ambulance and didn't stop or something. It didn't know to pull over. All that. I mean, I'm sorry. It's the human element.
Those are just hiccups though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get over the hiccup.
and that's a
actually
dead
met
person
someone-
in that hiccup. So what are you going to do?
There's okay, it brings back a point you brought up though. 18 people dead on a highway. That's such a small number. We shouldn't shut down highways. Well, that's one person on an automated vehicle, and how long on how many vehicles? Let's just do the statistics. That's a lot smaller number than how many people die a day from car wrecks, from people to people. And if you completely get rid of the people element, and it's just robots doing all
Yeah,
the
but you need
driving.
the service for the robots too. See, that's another thing that they're not talking about is that you need tech. You know, these companies that put all these robots in there, you need to maintenance these things.
Right.
They're not going to maintenance themselves. You
Right.
got to know a programmer. Like for example, I'll just give you an example. Okay, so the company that I showed the rubber band guns. Okay, so Dan's got this CNC machine. Okay, that cuts 21 guns at a time, but he's got to hire 2 guys to run the machine Okay, then he has to have laborers sand the guns and put them together and all that. And that's the same thing with any manufacturing. You might go high tech. You know, it's like the industry back in the 1800s. Like, you know, the buggy whip company. There are buggy whips. These are whips that you would whip the horse. Well, that industry went away because of the car. But then you had all those people then hired into the car industry building cars. You're still going to need technicians to understand how to frickin' program these robots and maintain the robots.
My biggest problem with it is I just don't think people think it's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
Even if this is a good idea and it does work, which a lot of the, like, Teslas are driving by themselves, and yeah, sure, you have one accident out of how many cars that are on the road? It's such a mini number. The only reason why it's getting blown out of proportion is because it's a new thing and people are scared. But the thing is, this stuff isn't really going to go into full development until like 50 years from now. So it's not even a problem that's on my radar.
Right. Make your bed in the morning kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fix what
Yeah.
you can fix now and improve that, and the rest of the stuff will work itself out.
And this is a fear that goes all the way back to the Communist Manifesto on, you know, oh no, machines are taking our jobs. Well, let's wait until it actually goes through and see
ain't
if it
gonna
really
happen.
does take all the jobs, because it hasn't happened yet, and people have been screaming it for hundreds of years.
I mean, going back to Catherine, she made more in tips in one Saturday than she did in wages, just by painting people's frickin' nails.
But
Go figure that out.
But she's good, and she has pride in it, and she's proud of it, and that goes back to the painting and the
loves it.
skill. Yeah, there's something to that. There really
Yeah.
is.
I think it's really cool that she's doing that. Like, she found something she loves, prideful about at a young age. She
and they
doesn't-
paid for it.
You know,
She didn't have that was $20,000.
Yeah.
Your daughter or wife had to pay for that.
That's what I mean. That's, oof.
it's crazy.
And-
She's,
And even her, she has pride in her. I mean, look at the hair that she does, how good and how proud of.
I don't know if
I.
I liked what she did with Catherine's hair.
Well,
with
that's a
those-
matter of opinion, no.
I don't know, I guess I need to get a haircut. I was trying
Also,
to show off your wife's handiwork, but it's
Also,
been
look
a
at-
while.
So
She
this
should've-
is in the Shed podcast, and this is my son Daniel. That's my son Lincoln.
If they're at
and
this minute mark, they ought to know by now.
This isn't live, so people aren't just hopping in. If they're going to watch it, they're going to watch
oh,
the
I
whole
see.
thing.
Okay.
being yourself 100
Oh,
times.
so I don't need to say that every time then.
Not
when
right
you're
now,
not
actually.
live. When
Why
you're
not?
live, it's more
We could do a
important.
fake commercial, though. Do you have something? Or you got a real commercial? We don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
sponsors yet, so I mean, we can just make them up. That's what Louder Crowder did before they got.
Makeup sponsor.
Remember they used to just make up commercials?
That's kind of funny. I don't know what I would endorse.
I'm kidding. We don't have to.
I'm a big Milwaukee person. I just bought a nice
Yeah, you are.
headlamp.
That thing's sweet.
You definitely pay more for their products, but they
Pay
get
for quality.
Give you what you pay for.
Get what you pay for.
That's another thing about those headlamps. You got those headlamps with batteries. We get one with a rechargeable battery that maybe costs $40 more. But depending on how much you use it, you're going to pay for that in batteries so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you should get all electric cars, Teslas. I mean, look at how good California's doing right now.
Oh yeah, they're running out of electricity because they put all those. I mean, that's the thing. They're telling people, okay, not to have their lights on. Okay, so what happens when your person comes home with their Tesla car and they have to recharge it? So now you have 50 million people having to charge their Teslas. Where's the power coming from?
Well, it comes from renewable resources.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, go look at those windmills in Iowa and tell me that's not a joke.
Did you hear about what the liberals are doing with the new Tesla car? They aren't buying it because they found out that he gave money to the Republican Party. Yeah, so they're like revoking their pre-order of the new Tesla.
All these guys, they just got to play the game. Like, I'm not going to look at Elon Musk giving money to the Republicans as, oh, he's Republican now.
Yeah, well,
he's
he-
in a Republican game now, so he has to play by their rules. Just
Yeah.
like Trump, when he lived in New York, he had to play by the
Yeah, he
Democrats'
gave
rules.
all
Well-
to Schumer and everybody.
Well, if you look at the chart, he gave equally to the Republican and the Democratic Party, saying he didn't
you have
care
to.
and he was going to help out.
but that goes
either
back
way.
to the tolerance
It
of the
doesn't
left.
matter.
The
Yeah.
tolerance. They don't want to have
They
any
don't-
tolerance. They have
yeah.
no tolerance. They hate Trump. It's like they were talking today about, Melania's never been in any major publication about her, any woman's mag. Can you think about, can you really think about that? So you've got a woman's magazine that is reaching all the women in America, okay? So they're basically ignoring half the women in America by not doing any articles on her. That's just, to me, just ludicrous.
What do you think it is? I mean, it's not.
Hatred. It's pure hatred.
It's not Melania's publicist. Just isn't doing a good job. You don't think that's what
Oh,
it is?
I'm sure they'd like to do story. I mean, she's probably the most fashionable first lady that probably ever come down the pike.
Oh, she's got some good fashions that has been shown.
That's the problem. She's too perfect for the left standards. She's an immigrant. She speaks multiple languages.
Multiple languages.
5.
Unbelievable.
She is the ideal person that the left would love
Oh, yeah.
to put on to a pedestal.
Yeah. And she's doing all this stuff. She's going to down near the border, helping kids out. She's doing, dang, I don't even know. Never mind.
Anti-bullying. That's just
Yeah,
to troll
and-
the media. That has to be.
Anti-bullying. That's another commie crap.
Yeah.
No, we could get into bullies.
Yeah,
Talk
that's
about
fun.
bullies.
What about?
Well, we were having a conversation the other day about how we never felt like we were bullied as kids.
Why?
And- Well, because, our dad was, he was a masculine man who knew how to raise us, to not
sons.
feel like we're being bullied by other people. And if anything, we thought they were playing with us. And we made a lot of friends because of it, because
Yeah.
people couldn't bully us, so that's not like we were lower on the scale.
It was
We were always equals with everybody.
Always equal to everybody?
always equal.
Always equal to everybody.
They put their pants
You never
on.
got bullied in high school then?
Well, we got picked on. But we picked on them back.
Yeah, I remember moments where, looking back now after talking to other people who have been bullied
And we're traumatized. by
and were
it.
traumatized, even saying, yeah, this happened, it was so terrible. And then I think back to a situation, I search, okay, what was a situation that could be considered bullying to me? And I just remember Ben Heater in the locker room, chasing me around the locker room, all he was doing was puffing his chest out. I thought it was fun. I thought we were actually having fun, and I was laughing the whole time. That could be considered,
Bullying nowadays.
yeah, I mean, that could have been a traumatizing situation for somebody else. But I mean, I remember being duct taped to my friend that just came over and being chased down our street, and that was fun to us. So,
What do you mean duct tape? What are you talking about?
yeah, so, my dad, he used to duct tape us together and chase us down the street. So some kid chasing me around the locker room isn't going to scare me because that kid may be a little bit bigger than you. But when you're 10 years old, your dad's
Okay, you guys
3
take
times-
that. You take that all out of context. Why I duct taped you to the floor?
There's
There's
a,
no other way.
oh, so there's a floor. There's a floor together, upside down on a
So you, so
fence
so
post.
being duct taped to the floor, was that fun or was that traumatizing?
Well, that's
That's
what
our
we're.
point.
That's a
We-
point. Is
we-
nowadays it is
We
traumatizing.
received this bullying, man, from
So
our
you're saying
father.
I was the bully,
Right, but we knew that you
loved
loved
us.
There
Right.
was never a question. About
right? The
that.
more I,
You weren't
the
trying to
more
do
I
a
beat you,
power
the more I
play.
loved you, right?
You said that, but there was we felt the truth in it
Yeah.
too.
You
Right.
did.
It
Right.
wasn't.
So we grew up with that as our reality. So when other people were bullying us, we were like, oh, they must really like us.
I couldn't do anything about it. Yeah.
And
Which
That's sick.
Which is true if you think about it. What
Yeah.
if you like somebody, you're gonna
Yeah.
haze them, you're gonna harass them. If you don't like them, you're gonna ignore them because you don't even want to talk to them.
you don't want to find out their lines because you don't care. You don't want to associate with
Well, that's why I think what I need.
Well, there's a. Who's gonna talk? You or me?
Let's give it to the host.
The host.
No, that's why I was talking about doing the. I want to because my mom and dad did the M&M camp, Mom and Maxine camp, and I think what I'm going to do when my grandkids get a little older, do the John Wayne camp, and basically teach them some John Wayne ethics. And to me, the best one is in Hondo where he throws that kid in the water. And the mother comes up and she doesn't know how to. Well, he's going to learn.
And how old was he? About
10.
okay.
Why would
Maybe
it just
7.
be the BNC camp? like the M&M camp.
Yeah, because you have to have that other dynamic because Poppy
B and C, you mean? Oh, Brian and Kathy camp.
because Poppy had that same thing too. He had lessons that he taught us, and
Right.
Nan had lessons she taught
All
us.
right, I'll think about that.
You have to have that dichotomy because once again, what we were talking about last night about aggressiveness, about the man and the woman, and how there's a 50-50 split.
They're both equally important in
Right.
their
Yeah.
own roles.
So the
mean,
B and
if there
C camp
wasn't-
then, huh?
Like mom needs to have lessons too. Like I remember
Okay.
Nan, one of the best things. Like some people are even shocked because if you go to a fancy like dinner party, like especially with the Navy ball, a lot of people don't know what all those forks are for. I know because Nan taught us at a young age, growing up every year, what order you go, what the forks are for, where you put the knife when you get done, where you put the spoon when you get done with the soup. All of that stuff was engraved, and that was from Nan, thankfully. And then Poppy had lessons for us. He used to take us.
Building the birdhouses.
Yeah, I mean, that was the manly stuff. Gardening, he taught us how to garden. Nan would teach us how to pick wheat. I mean, it was just some of my best memories. And then I got to do it with my cousins.
That's something I missed.
Yeah,
they
that was-
quit right when the year I was able to join. They
Oh,
quit.
you didn't get to
doing
do it?
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Like
I missed that.
Ugh, that stinks. Who did you do it with?
Brian's kids.
Okay.
And I think it was Brian's kid.
Yeah, you'll have 3 right now.
I have an uncle named Brian also.
Well, and then David and Frankie and Missy, I suppose, could.
Yeah, you want to do similar. So David would be part of. The older ones, they kind of are beyond that, I would think.
That's the thing that kept us in age groups. So that
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to have similar age groups. Which let's see,
there's
is
different lessons for different ages.
at the time, but we don't have as big of a. You guys populated relatively quickly because we had Brett, Kyle.
There were 17 grad kids at one time.
Right. I don't. Do you have any kids on the way?
No kids.
He's not even married yet.
No.
I don't think he's trying.
Do you want to
I mean,
come
it's
out
not-
on this podcast? Would you like to come out?
That's okay.
It would be easier, wouldn't it? You think about it. Living with a dude is just the easiest thing on
It's
earth.
so much easier.
I mean,
We've never had a roommate.
no, I haven't. I did. Jake,
You for a little while.
Why? What's wrong with your
and
roommate?
you for a little bit.
No, my roommate's great. That's the thing. He just happens to have male genitalia.
My first roommate's my
Well, what's
wife,
wrong with that?
so.
Well, as far as procreating, I guess there's less wrong with it because the male sex drive is much higher, and you know. If
I don't
you-
know what you're talking about right now. Are you
Well,
actually
yeah.
coming out right now?
Okay, let's get out of this.
Dad, you have a son that's gay. What do you think of that?
No, I don't think so.
You want to deny it. I get it.
I just don't know how much longer I'm gonna be living. I just don't know exactly what my life entails. So
He goes with
They
a
say
day at a time.
1 out of every 4 men are gay.
That's
I'm not gay. You're not gay. Lincoln, you have a baby as well, so just
I told someone at my job.
no, I don't believe that statistic either.
that seems like an absurdly high number.
I made it up, guys.
You
a
being
joke.
a conservative, I would just expect to hold you at a higher standard. Of not
That way you
making-
don't make stuff up.
Oh, good.
I try to take you as face value, but if what you're training me here is I can't, I guess I have to go with that.
So at the end, so what do you think? So we're the MAGA
yeah.
Trump
Our,
Trump train. So what do you think is going to be the
Our sister-in-law
result
made
in
this.
the
Yeah.
midterms?
Oh.
What are your views?
So I think that we are going to lose some, but we're going to gain others. I think we're still going to have the majority in both. I think Trump is going to be cleaning a little bit of house and getting rid of some. I think it's going to be close. Everybody has to show up. I'm really nervous about it. What is it, November?
Yep.
So how many months away is that right now?
So there's
Oh, is it just popular vote?
there's Mandy.
Like, what is it?
Mandy is Ryan's
I
wife.
don't know.
She thinks I don't like her, which is absolutely not true. I just like to pick on her.
Once again, going back to the bullying thing.
Right, exactly. The more I pick on her, the more I like her. If I
Exactly.
didn't like her, I'd just ignore her.
Exactly.
No, I would. I'd just ignore her. I wouldn't talk to her, and I just think she's a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Self-centered, egotistic type person.
Right.
That's
And she's not. She thinks I am. Like a couple, when I went over to the 4th of July party,
Oh, that
she
was a
freaked
blast.
out like, your dad's coming over. I can't handle it. Your dad's coming over. What the heck? Oh my God. How am I going to deal with that?
I think she was more worried about the whole idea of it rather than what actually happened.
What do you mean the whole idea of it?
Well, because there's a lot of pressure that's put on. Like, I feel bad for Hope. She's got a lot of pressure. All of us here, we can entertain ourselves, but that's not the mentality of somebody who's actually hosting. They feel like they need to
They need
entertain,
to
which is very hard.
I
It's very
told-
difficult.
I've
told
been the
Hope
entertainment
100
all my
times
life.
that
I
she
don't
didn't
need
need
entertainment.
That's what yeah.
That's what I kept on telling Hope when you guys were coming up. I'm like, dude, Hope, my family do not need to worry about entertaining.
We've had so much fun. Literally just point us in the direction of the water and look at
And
what we've
then
been
we'll
having.
have fun.
I mean, you got a sun
Yeah.
burn. You fell asleep literally midday yesterday because you couldn't handle it.
But that's who he is, though. He's got a battery that's always half empty.
And me, I'm like,
That's not good.
I'm literally keeping up with everybody, and then I'm running additional miles on top of that,
Right.
just because
brother.
can't keep me down. Human
Can't
optimization.
keep us down. I did fall asleep.
So, what do you think's going to happen though in a midterm? Do you have a prediction?
I don't, because the media, I think they're going to play the same game they played. They're always over sampling Democrats. That's their problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it all depends on the turnout and how the Trump train, it really is the Trump train. It's how the Trump people come out and vote. It's like 2012 is where the Tea Party just literally blew everybody away. They had no idea
Yeah. But
that,
that was a terrorist organization. Did you
Right.
know that?
and see, they're only in the left and the West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not in a middle America, and that's Trump. Look at how many jobs he's created. All these Pittsburgh, all these factories that are coming back. The steel industry is coming back, which I've made a comment before. The Democrats, they don't want these jobs in America. That's why Obama said, well, what's he going to do? Well, how's he going to do it? Is he just going to wave a magic wand and just all of a sudden? Well, yeah, that's right, because you don't understand economics. You don't understand capitalism, because you just think, we're just going to do it. That's what it is. That's what a capitalist does. He just does it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, Andy opened up a lot of clean coal access and a lot of natural gas and just oil extraction in general.
I think it's hard to predict, and the reason why this is much different than the presidential campaign is
It's turnout. It's always turnout.
it's turnout and it's selective areas. So I know my area, but I don't know the rest of the world. And then on the large scale, though, we were able to track and follow supporters of Trump. You can do that very easily, but you don't know where those Trump supporters are and who they're going to actually vote for. And then the left, I mean, why do you have so many closet MAGA supporters? Because the left will shut you down. I love what they're doing to Maxine Waters. They're actually pressing her now. They're going out and following her, and she's losing it. She's literally losing it because these.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos.
Are my favorite.
Dude, she can't stand them because we're up on her. We're like, hey man, why
But that's
are you
what she
saying
told
this?
them to
What are you doing?
her left to do to us,
Yep.
and we're doing it to them. They can't handle that. See, that's never happened, and Trump is the one that's instigating with these. It's like this, and Rush made a comment about this yesterday, which was a great comment about, that the tweet that he tweeted about, we got to watch out because the Russians are going to meddle in this election because they want the Democrats to win. That just eats at the left. They cannot handle it. Why are you doing that?
Wait, you can't take us. We're saying that. The Russians are coming in the election. We're saying that.
And
You
then we
can't say
joke
it.
around.
Yeah, we
See,
throw it right back at
The
them.
thing is, left can't take a joke, but we can take what. Like, I go back to Christians. Like, I'm hanging out with a friend of mine, and I'm showing comedian making fun of Christians, and he's a Christian, and we're laughing at it. And my friend walks away, like, he's like, why are you guys laughing at this? Like, aren't you guys Christians? And it's like, because it's a joke. It's funny.
Meant to
Like,
be funny.
and that's the same with conservatives. Conservatives look at stuff, and we're just like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, everything's funny. We can take a joke. The left, they are like,
Hey, did you get gas in
No,
your car
no.
tonight?
No, I thought you were gonna fill out for.
You didn't put any gas into it, huh?
Well,
He put some into it.
and
I hope he did.
why do you need my?
You can
card?
take the golf cart.
I can't tonight. There's no light to it.
There is a light on that.
We just have
didn't
to
put the
figure it
switch.
out.
No, the light is burned out.
Mm.
Yeah, but that has that huge top light on it.
I was found boring to listen to.
Here's one thing they need to do though, which I was it Cruz said it today. They need to define what the Russians are actually doing, and that's a very specific thing. They need to define what the Russians are doing, and here's why. If it's people on Twitter or the Russians on Twitter using our freedom, the First Amendment, that's not Russians meddling. Freedom of speech is allowed. Like, we don't, I know other countries they
Right.
don't, but we cannot tamper down freedom of speech just because they happen to be
Russians.
Right. Like,
We've been doing it to countries for 100 years. We've been meddling in other countries and trying to sway countries all the time.
and I'm not even trying to say that's okay. I'm just saying that we have the power when we go to the voting booth and we vote. So we need to control the voting. We need to have voter ID. We need to voter ID. We really need voter ID. Isn't it ironic that, or
Didn't they just ask for voter on the left after, like, this whole Russian bot thing? Or something?
Yeah.
That's a 4chan post.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
was it?
not-
Oh, okay.
yeah, 4chan trolling, which is fun.
Okay, cool. That's always fun.
That's the biggest hypocrisy in the world. They want illegal immigrants to be able to vote, but they're screaming about Russia meddling in the election.
Right.
It's-
These
There's
double
no
standards.
continuity there.
And it's weird how every time a state adds voter ID, suddenly that state turns red. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, look at
really
look at the
Store
net,
5.
look at the show Russia Today.
You get
The-
so mad.
I'm sorry.
RT.
And I try to-
RT. Russia Today. All that is promoting Russia.
No, it's. I mean, the RT in the United States is not propaganda. I mean, it's actually-
Russia Today, though.
Right.
That's the name of it.
yeah.
So where do you think they're getting their talking points from? Russia, don't you think?
Well, you'd actually be surprised if you followed the reporters that work for RT. They're getting pissed off that the left is calling them Russia because some of the reporters there are actually leftists. Because most reporters are leftists. I mean, we know that. So they're
Yeah.
actually they're eating their own, is what I'm getting to. I mean, what's her name? She was a huge Bernie supporter and switched because of what happened with Bernie getting forced out. Cassandra Fairbanks. Have you ever seen her? She was a huge Bernie supporter. Worked for RT, I believe. I can
She
look
used
it
to
up.
be a Bernie.
And this is what
Yeah.
the big hypocrisy is. Listen, the media has been sucking up the Communist Party. I mean, look at your professors in universities. They're all communists. They're all leftist progressives and socialists and communists. Why are they so upset about Russia? That you guys been wanting to do this? It's because your little Hillary, that has a lot of issues, did not win the election.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's why they're all upset.
Well, because
And I
they
thought we would be upset and for riots.
Not
if
at
we
all.
Lost.
just going back to they had the next 8 years planned out. It's not only that the left or all of the politicians, everybody supported Hillary, but they also cheated and tried to manipulate Hillary to be elected. That's what
Yeah.
the real poison is.
Well, guys,
This is a nice breeze.
It's a nice day. We're gonna probably get back to family stuff. I mean, we got hour 15, but you got a little bit more. Do we want to hit? I can bring up Twitter real quick, see if anything's trending with Pompeo. I know he was on. We watched a little bit of it. It's up to you. Do you want
they're
to?
way ahead of all that. I mean, he's finally got some. You know what I didn't realize? I didn't realize Brennan was a communist.
Oh yeah, he voted for the Communist Party. Is that true or?
I don't know if it's true. I just find him just a bunch of weasels.
You don't know what we're talking about, Brennan? You know him?
Yeah, I've only heard probably what you guys have heard about him.
Let's use Oh, great. This is going to be
Really?
great. This is PolitiFact. So we know it's a leftist. Was John Brennan once a member of the Communist Party? They put mostly false. It's either true or false. But they put mostly false. So that's we already know is kind of BS right there. Yeah.
Well, you look at the money.
Is the money flowing?
The amount of money that they threw in to Hillary, and all that money is gone, wasted. The amount of money that they threw in, paid off, bribed, concocted, hoping that she was going to win, okay? And the day of the election, it all went into flames. And he was president. It just, I really... You know, the video that's really funny is the 1 minute video of showing Hillary and Bill when they think they're going to win. Bill's jumping up and down like a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
And then
That's
6
good.
hours later, it's all over. I mean, Daniel was in my room when that night. I just could not believe I knew something was wrong when they weren't showing Ohio and Georgia. I said, something's not right here. They're not showing these. And he got Georgia by 400,000 votes. How are you not calling Georgia? You're telling me that there's 400,000 votes out there for Hillary? But see, what happened was that if they would have shown Trump at 9 o'clock with way ahead, that would have swayed all the West.
Yeah.
Even more. He probably would have taken Nevada if that would have happened.
I don't think they're going to be able to hide it next time. I think it's
Oh,
going to be
no.
easier.
They aren't going to.
Well, no, that's why you have to
Yeah.
watch the 1980 election with Ronald Reagan. They called it by 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. California hadn't even closed yet.
I
And they
can't.
called it.
I can't wait to find out who the left is going to put
Yeah.
up against him.
They can't.
Do you think the Republicans are going to try to run, or no? You think they're going to just say,
Oh, no, it's done.
nominate him? How does
Yeah.
that work? I don't know.
Well, I mean, a guy could do it, but I mean, he's the
There's no
front leader.
point,
I mean,
yeah.
there's really no. I mean, unless you're a real absolute idiot and you want to take him on, and I don't think he'll get anywhere close.
how many other previous presidents in part of the GOP, have had an 80% approval rating on the Republican side?
No one, they said. Well, Bush did right after the war, but then it was taken down by the left because he never fought back. Bush
Yeah,
never fought back.
never.
He thought it was too Well, what are you talking about? And this is what you don't fight back. Well, it's like you guys are saying. You know, me picking on you. You know, if you don't fight back.
You know, I don't understand why they're hating how people go up to me and they're like, dude, did you hear what Trump said to, Kim or Elaine right now? And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I like a president that fights for us, that will stand up for us. Nothing's going to happen if you stand up for us. They're going to back down. Like, if I stand my ground, they back down. The bully backs down because he's more afraid of me if I stand up for myself.
Absolutely.
That's something I never understand.
The biggest way to stop a bully is to be
Be his father.
this fun.
You see those memes with Kim and him and Step Brothers and them meeting? That's funny. The joke around with that. Guess not. Cool
Do you have
story, bro.
anything to
Good
end,
talk.
Daniel?
Good talk.
Yeah, it's starting to get dark out. We're actually losing light.
I'm just thinking about my salsa right now. at this
Yeah,
point.
dude, that's
I
gonna be
start
so
eating
good.
that.
Oh, they're obsessed with
We could eat
salsa.
it now.
Let's give on the way out. Give your recipe so the listeners can make it potentially if if they want the world's best salsa.
Well, it's pretty dang good, but it's, I'm not gonna give proportions, but just what exactly is in it is beefsteak tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, Komato tomatoes, the purple ones that look like aroma kinda. So those three tomatoes, they mix for good sweetness and girth, and they're just wonderful. And serrano and habaneros, and then you got your garlic and your salt and your lime juice,
Nice. The only
cilantro.
The only thing that I don't like is you don't use the stems of the cilantro, which has a lot of the flavor. So it's a little light on the cilantro. So let's fix that next time. All right. Any final words from the host himself?
The
Thanks.
host himself. No, well, let's
Thank-
hopefully the next issue or episode 12 will be at the in the shed. Maybe we'll get Tim back. Hopefully,
we love Tim.
well, see, here's the deal with Tim. See,
Better than Brett.
he's an artist and he's a great guy. He's in a financial issue right now, and I understand. I'm trying to, I gave him a car to use, and so I'm trying to bribe him though. Basically, every time you come, I'll knock off some of the car that you owe me. So I'm hoping that's the way I can keep getting him to come back, is by knocking off the car. That'd be about another 8 episodes, I think. So hopefully it will be Tim in about 2 weeks, maybe mid-August. I have to go to Vegas next week, so I'll be back next Thursday. So maybe we can do next weekend, Saturday or Sunday.
But you're going to keep hitting the shorts, so we're going to have those coming.
Right, I'm going to do a bunch of shorts while I'm in Vegas, while I'm on the airplane. I want to do one before we take off from the airplane.
Hey, while you're in Vegas, you should go buy the Trump Star too. Get a
Oh,
little
it just
short
got
bit.
hit by an
Yeah.
axe.
Yep,
A
a pick.
pickaxe.
They just destroyed.
In Vegas
Yeah.
or in... No, that's Hollywood.
Yeah, are you going to Hollywood ever? Darn it.
Just got hit with a pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pickaxe.
pickaxe.
Do they
I was
fix it
like-
right away, or what do they do?
Yeah, he always gets it fixed. It's been vandalized. How many times
few
has it been?
times.
Yeah, I don't even know. But
That's
it's been
ridiculous.
filthy animals.
Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you have comments, please put comments what you want to hear us talk about.